welcome to all of you. I am very happy that you are here in large numbers, and I hope you'll also all be present in Yashobhumi from tomorrow onwards for the third edition of the India Energy Week. No, this is the third edition of the India Energy Week, but I want to share with you that in the short time that it has been around, it has already become the world's second largest energy platform. And I say this with a sense of responsibility. How do you measure the scale and importance of an energy platform? When we talk about ADIPAC, which is the largest energy platform, you talk about it in terms of the nature of participation, you talk about it in terms of the exhibition space, you talk about it in terms of the number of professional sessions, the technical papers produced. And I think Secretary will agree with me and he'll correct me if he thinks I need correction. But today, India Energy Week is something more than that. And not because I want to pay you a compliment because you're here, but the very fact that in a pre-event session, so the event is to start tomorrow, you've got so many of you present here, means that there is interest. But this interest is not just in energy as we understand it. By energy as we understand it could be, traditional fossil fuels, crude oil, refining, petrol, diesel. This is much more. This is about technology. And I think my understanding is that we've been able to do in 3 years what in fact the largest platform, ADIPAC, has done over a much more extended period of time. So within 3 years from the time we started in Bengaluru, Goa, third one in Delhi, and the next one, 2026, will be in its permanent home, where the ONGC is developing a 240-acre site, which will be a conference tourism site, and which will also be the home of the fourth edition of IEW, which will be in February 2026. I'll just share a few statistics with you, and then I'll request Secretary to chip in. And then we'll have a short session of exchanges, any interaction. Of course, we'll be meeting every day from tomorrow to the 14th. That's a permanent feature of how we organize these. Both Secretary and I will be available. One is that, as I said, IEW 25 is poised to be bigger, diverse, and more impactful than its previous 2 editions. It will span 1 lakh square meters and will be the second largest energy event globally in terms of participation, which means ministers, CEOs, exhibition space sessions. Now I'll just share some figures with you. Compared to IEW 23 and 24, this one will have 65% higher exhibition space, which will here be 28,000 square meters. That's 65% more than last year. 105 conference sessions, which is 24% higher than 23 and 15% higher than last year. More than 70,000 delegates, which is 55% higher than 2024 and 89% higher than 2023. 500 speakers from India and abroad, which is 38% higher than 2024 and 58% higher than 2023. It will have 700 plus exhibitors, which is 57% higher than 2024 and 115% higher than 2023. Now, why am I giving you these comparisons in terms of what happened in 23 and 24? Because unless there is interest, by the way, this is not an event on which the government is spending money. Let's be very clear, it's not. When you see it promoted, the organization of this event is so structured that economic entities in India and outside will ask for exhibition space. They will ask for facilities. Now Yashobhumi ka kitna hai total size? We've had to go beyond that in German tents.
Yes, sir. This is in fact Yashobhumi is fallen short in terms of the infrastructure.
In terms of the infrastructure, so we chose the biggest, but Yashobhumi is fallen short, so we put exhibition space outside. Now I'll just give you some other statistics. The growth in participation of international speakers in strategic conference IEW (48% as against 33%. I mean, I'm talking about the participation of international speakers. The event will see participation of 20 ministerial level participants, foreign ministers, deputy ministers. We have them from Qatar, UK, Russia, Brazil, Tanzania, Venezuela, heads of international organizations, head of OPEC, IEF, IEA, so on. 90 CEOs from Fortune 500 energy companies. Will feature the Avinya Energy Startup Challenge 2.0. The winners will be announced there. Ujana Voka Private Limited, so I won't go into that now. Vasudha, which is a global challenge for upstream startups in oil and gas, 17 overseas entries received. Top 2 startups will get it. Pavilions and zones. We've got 10 country pavilions. The biggest is, I think, the United States with 246. Sorry, USA. Okay, sorry. Germany is even bigger, 324 square meters. USA is 246. Norway is 236. A lot of them at 150, 156, and 2 countries with 48, Canada and Denmark. So 10 country pavilions will be there. There will be not, because you cannot have more than 500 or 1,000 people in a room. Because if you do that, then it will become beyond control. So the technical sessions are, some of them are under, by invitation. But please spread the message. There's a beautiful metro system. When I travel from here to Yashobhumi, I take the metro. It's about 17-18 minutes from Shivaji Stadium to Yashobhumi. So thank you very much. I think in terms of providing you a teaser, if I can call it that, a long teaser, but we'll be happy to answer any questions. We have a little time before I start my next session, so please feel free to ask questions. Rajiv will moderate it. Identify yourself and then we'll try to answer it. It's an ongoing process. When we talk about energy transition, what specifically are we talking about? When energy transition, we are saying you have to move away from traditional fuels to biofuels, to green hydrogen, etc. So here is government policy, but apart from that, there are also the economic interface. If you talk about biofuels, all our participants in the biofuels industry are there. Okay? All our participants in the green hydrogen ecosystem are there. I don't want to name individual companies, but we found that they've all got stalls there. All the people who are making pipes for transportation of fuels, they're all there. So I think the sheer presence, look, make no mistakes, as far as the government is concerned, the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, we have sessions ongoing with I will be having bilaterals with my counterpart ministers. I will also have bilateral meetings, they're not bilateral, standalone meetings with the CEOs of the company. Secretary will have that. But more important than that is our CEOs will be having, and we've got 50%, but not 50. Private sector is pretty dominant. By the way, we talk about OMCs, but I want to acknowledge the fact that we have one of the largest refineries in the world, which is 60 million metric tons.
64 million metric tons.
64 million metric tons per annum in the private sector. So we have a vibrant private sector in this. We have a very vibrant state sector, OMCs, and we have a government. And we are now also hoping to, I shouldn't say about this now, 10th round. We've had 9th round of OALP, open acreage licensing policy. We've had 9 rounds of bidding. We're hoping to do the 10th round during this thing. So, what does it add up to? It adds up to Yes, you have to do E&P, and we are securing some recent successes. We've got some navigation to do in the Andaman Sea. We need some help from other global majors in terms of seismic survey. We are signing a couple of MOUs today also, immediately after this. We are also, that 20% biofuel blending, we were supposed to actually achieve 6 years from now. So we are not doing it 5 years in advance, we're doing it 6 years in advance. Then green hydrogen, you're talking about a bus, but it's not a bus. The IOCL has actually issued a big tender in which there are a number of participants. So, first somebody has to come up with a policy, then they have to design it, then you have to issue a tender, then people participate. That's how the ecosystem builds. MOU on two of them, you get the details. But it's not correct for me. Let the companies first sign the MOUs, then the details will come up. It's an ongoing process. Very dynamic supplier, purchases taking place from Saudi Arabia, from the UAE, from Iraq, from Kuwait, gas from Qatar, and more contracts are taking place. So I would say it's of the highest importance. And the number of companies I can check out. I didn't keep that granular data with me, but we'll let you know.